Let's maximise the productivity of our John Deere cotton pickers. The round module building cotton picker sure has been a great leap forward in productivity. But to get the maximum out of them, straight from the factory, there are some modifications and tweaks that really do need doing to get the maximum work out of them in a day. Here's the main ones we commonly do in Australia to particularly reduce door blocks, increase that ground speed that we can work at, and decrease costly downtime. With some early pickers already rolling in the south of Texas and plenty of you getting your machines out into the shop for that pre-season maintenance, I just thought I'd share some of the very best tips from Australia that we've found can really help make our pick go a lot smoother. Let's optimise these machines and get more work out of them. Here's 5 tips for really optimising that air system. Sealing gaps, trimming hoses for unnecessary bends, and just making sure everything is the best it can be. I've just spent a few days driving this machine and I had to limit my ground speed in good cotton, but nothing spectacular. And it's just not optimised. This nozzle here still has big air gap. Yeah, these nozzles, they get a huge gap in here, some of them from pre-delivery, and if we don't seal that up, it lets cheap air get in there instead of pulling it through past the picker heads like we want it to. It'd be like drilling holes in the suction of your vacuum cleaner. This one tip will make the biggest difference. If you don't have to unbolt your Venturi nozzles for changing row configurations, then I thoroughly recommend that you seal them in, clean up all of those gaps, and your air system will work so much more effectively. As well as silicone around these. So all that effort is adding up to higher ground speed and less door blocks. It's really worth it. And the 6-inch tube could be shortened. Head 6, the nozzle has been sealed, and I didn't actually get a block in 6. This could be a little bit shorter, and even the 3-inch. If we shorten them to their minimum, we're getting more air. Before we do any trimming of that 6-inch air hose, we want our heads right down just on a flat surface, and we want every head in position in the widest row configuration that you're going to pick. Let's trim the excess off this 6-inch air hose. So I've made sure I've got my heads in their row. This one has a guest row averager. I've got it at its widest, so it'll never have to be longer than I'm going to cut it to. So I'm just going to take this much off to start with. And you need a strong set of side cutters to get through this wire. All right, let's run with that. That's got that curve lessened, and it really does improve airflow through those heads. So let's shorten this one a bit now too. Is that much off? Yeah, that's a lot better. I like that. Yeah, that is going to improve things. Head 6 looks good there now. You can see here that heads 4 and 5 can certainly have some of those bends taken out, the 6-inch, and we can shorten those 3 inches as well. Some of them can be a real pain to get to, but it's worth the effort. It's definitely a lot easier than 200 unnecessary head blocks through the season. And it's important, I come across the odd machine that has these pipes fitted backwards. There's this arrow here for direction of airflow. There's our directional arrow on the 6-inch. It is really important that they are fitted the right way. This is another common mistake I see on a lot of machines. The little doffer door at the back of the cabinet gets fitted in that wrong hole, and it leaves quite a large air gap, and it's right next to the chute. So yeah, again, it's letting a lot of cheap air in. It should be in that front hole, and I don't know why that second hole's even there. I think we should blank them off so it stops happening. You can go more extreme if you like. Some people do, but these ones are the main ones. Seal that Venturi nozzle into the chute. Seal that chute assist manifold, both front and back. Trim those 6-inch and 3-inch air hoses to take unnecessary bends out of them. Ensure the air hoses are the correct direction, and make sure those doffer doors are in that correct hole so that there's less gaps around that doffer door. You really can't talk about getting the most from your machine without talking about operator training. And it's always such a frustration that you couldn't really get into training the operators until the picker was in the paddock, and it pretty much all had to be done by the manager. So I've developed an operator training course using footage that I've filmed while operating a picker for a whole season. It's equally applicable to 7760s, CP690s and CP770s. And we start with a good look at safety, from entanglement risk to working at heights, contact with power lines, through to what I call the silent killers like fatigue and complacency. Then we talk about how to manage a picker fire. It can be pretty frightening when your picker catches fire, but by training what to do, we're going to minimise the likelihood of the operator panicking and abandoning a machine that could have quite easily been saved. We then talk about preparing that machine, tooling it up so that you can deal with quite a few common issues. The value of that walk around at the end of your morning service before you get going, and then just lots on operator excellence, good turns, height management, speed management, moisture management. Then there's quite a focus on the operation of the round module builder and the wrap system. We demonstrate how to do manual wrap, fix misfeeds, that kind of thing. And then maintenance, ending in a really, really good blowdown to reduce the risk of fire and improve component life on the machine. These next two suit all models of pickers, and they are bar heights and baler belt pins. We used to accept a wider tolerance in the older machines, but most people now agree that it's well worth the effort to get your bar heights to a 2 to 3 thou range from highest to lowest. It takes a bit of effort, but you will be rewarded with cleaner spindles, less component wear and damage, and less costly downtime. When the baler belts are good, they're very good. but if you break a baler belt in the field, you are in a world of hurt. It's become common practice to replace the baler belt pins on an annual basis, and there may be more than one per belt. Clearly we want to check all the belts for damage first, but once we're happy with them, here's a trick to remove them really easily by grabbing onto the end with a drill chuck. It works a treat. And then the last two here are specific to the 770s, and they are fitting that correct idler pulleys to the wrap floor belts and a high volume solution strainer. There's a really strange thing with all the CP770s I've seen where the wrap floor belts, it's a V belt, but the back of the belt is running in a V pulley as its idler. Some machines seem to get away with it better than others, but plenty of people reported destroying multiple sets of wrap floor belts before they changed to the flat idler. It just makes no sense having the back of a belt running in a V pulley. This is how they all came, and I just don't understand it. So a lot of clients have changed over to a flat pulley like it should be running on. The part number's here, it's off a mower deck apparently, and you need 8 of them. So hit pause if you want to see that part number, and this is what it should look like. Retrofitting a high volume solution strainer to CP770s has been really popular. One, it's now in an easy to access spot, but two, and best of all, that purge tap on the bottom of it is brilliant for repriming the pump. After cleaning the strainer and turning that main valve back on, a 5-second blast on that purge tap pulls all the air out of the system, and the pump normally just primes straight away when you re-engage the fan to get back to work. It's much quicker and easier than the pokey little filter that comes standard and that annoying and slow bleed valve. Here's a good look at how they're plumbed into a CP770. A lot of people are doing it, and it really does make life easier. For more tips on getting the most out of your cotton picker, or to talk about how the Cotton Picker Essentials operator training course can help train those operators, prepare them in the pre-season so that once that crop is ripe, they can hit the ground running. Email me, troy@realskillsagtraining.com.au. Send a request through the website, realskillsagtraining.com.au, or find us on the socials. I look forward to hearing from you.